years of his life. My brother, Abyss, gave his life to this company. My brother, Abyss, he spilled his blood and he gave his body for these people here and at home. And how dare you, sir, try to desecrate his legacy by what you've done? You want an all-out fight at Slammiversary? You're on. And I'm not doing it for me. I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for my brother Chris.
Sign it! Good! Sign it! Sign it! Sign your life up!
Chris! I've been looking all... Listen up! Our whole lives, you've been opening doors that you had no business opening. And now look at you. Look at the situation you've got yourself into. I warned you for weeks to step away from the fire or you were going to get burned. And now it's too late, little brother. But Chris, I was doing it to help you. I was doing it to help you from him. I was doing it so that you could come back. I was doing it to try and help you against your help. I never have. And as for you, Bully Ray, you said you left me for dead. Well, Bully Ray, do I look dead to you? So, little brother, Bully Ray, you're both gonna find out just how alive I am. It's Slammiversary. Who's coming to Slammiversary? You're coming to Slammiversary? Chris, where are you? Don't leave. Don't leave yet. Chris, wait.
Deep shot from behind by the Bully to Joseph Park. But you knew that Bully Ray would take advantage of an opening like that.
Well, absolutely, but I'll tell you what, Bully Ray better beware. We heard it from Abyss's mouth himself. He will be at Slammiversary this Sunday. Wow.
And now, more Pro Wrestling Weekly with your host, Ferran Derry.
Sit down, shut up, and listen up.
Oh, Bully Ray causing more problems and trouble here on 1490 WBCB. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly. I tend to cause a little trouble and problems myself on a rare occasion or two. Ferran Derry back here with you. Of course, looking at Slammiversary, one of the more, at least somewhat intriguing storylines, kind of the, I don't know, perhaps final chapter of this whole Abyss Joseph Park thing that's been going on for quite a few months now. I don't know. It's a bit of a head scratcher because while I'm not exactly sure the direction they've been meaning to go with it, at least it's been a slowly developing storyline, which is, I know, something that a lot of us have been clamoring for quite a while. It's not the Crash TV, take care of one storyline in about 2 weeks and then move on to another one, and feuds beginning and ending within a matter of weeks as opposed to months. So it's a nice change of pace in that regard. I don't know. I'm trying to find a way to not be critical of it. So what I'll do instead is I'll go to the phones. We'll go to Dan from Chicago, who's been hanging patiently. Dan, welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly.
What's up? How you doing?
Not too bad.
I like the Abyss Joseph Park storyline. Believe it or not, I kind of dug the contract signing this week. It was really, I liked the way they interacted on the screen. It wasn't, how you get those awkward moments when the guy is taped on the video camera, on the video wall.
Yeah, they seemed to. I don't know if they rehearsed it and made sure. Okay,
right.
No, get the timing down.
Yeah, they did a good job with that too.
They didn't make it seem like it. They didn't make it blatantly obvious that it was pre-recorded.
Right. So I thought that Bully Ray has been really good with this. Like being, he annoys me at times, but just this past Thursday, he did a really good job.
It just amazes me how over the last, 9 to 12 months, how Bully Ray has just stepped up his game. I guess this singles push is exactly what he needed, because in the tag team division, he was just kind of spinning his wheels, just kind of going through the motions. Okay, was up headbutt here, 3D there, and now all of a sudden, he's dropped a good amount of weight. He brags almost incessantly about his calves, which is it's something interesting and different. I got to give him credit for that. And now it's kind of made me focus and think, all right, I got to start beefing up my calves at the gym.
And I think this live impact is going to be helping everybody. You know what I mean? It's going to be helping everybody. I've been enjoying it the last, obviously it's only been 2 weeks, but I've been saying that these should have been going live every Thursday because the spoilers hurt that company because nobody wants to watch it. But now that there are no spoilers, look, you get the 60 Carter AJ storyline, which I like. It's, it's a soap opera, of course, but at least it's something different where you don't know what's going to happen because, it hasn't been taped 3 weeks ahead of time. You know what I mean? So I dig it a lot. So I've been really, obviously, one of the ones who's been critical of TNA ever since they, stopped the war between WWE and TNA, that Monday night debacle. I've been saying they should be going live every Thursday night.
And now at least on a trial basis, they're finally starting to do it. And I guess we'll have to see when it comes to ratings if that's something that's been benefiting them.
I know ratings, but here's the thing: you go to a movie based off the ratings of that movie. No, you go to watch it because you like it.
I mean like the ratings as far as the number of people watching.
Right, and I understand that, but it's just like it's been aggravating me lately with the ratings. It's all we're fans. Obviously, we want the company to do good, but does it really matter to you? Because we're not invested in that company. We don't have any money in that company. Why do we care? Like if they, obviously we do care because we don't want the company to go under. But at the same time, too, if we enjoy the programming, who cares what the ratings are? On a personal level.
Yeah, no, from a personal level, absolutely. But, it's a matter of, business generating business. So, the better your product is, the more people that are watching, which in turn, brings those profits and allows you to even better your product. I don't know. I'm trying to go back to ninth grade economics class a little bit with that. I know it's I think a little bit more detailed than that, I'm sure, but that's just kind of like the basic 101s of it. And to their credit, okay, not a lot of people realize, oh, that's right, there's a time change. So last week the ratings were down. Now they're back up to about where they normally are. Now it's just a matter of how do we get them to increase from here?
And you know what? I say they should have gone up against SmackDown, but the Friday night thing is kind of hard, too. Going to Friday nights would be really hard. I think that would hurt the company even worse if TNA went to Friday nights.
And that's the thing. Maybe, and I don't know if this is something they're necessarily going to do, because Thursdays is usually at least for networks, a powerhouse night for television. Mm-hmm. For years, SmackDown was getting its butt kicked by Survivor, by I think the tail end of Friends, I think was on Thursday. I'm trying to think of what was on Thursday night.
It was on Thursday nights. Cheers was on Friday nights.
Well, I'm going back to the early 2000s. I'm not going, there wasn't even a Raw back as far back as where you're going. You're talking Cheers and things of that. No, that was the 80s.
Yeah.
Best you had then was primetime wrestling for the World Wrestling Federation. But no, I think a little bit of it also that's hurting TNA is that you tend to see this with sports in general. The NBA playoffs, that the Celtics and Heat game that was going on, and that averaged over 11 million viewers. So that obviously took people away from who might. It's like, all right, will I watch Impact? Oh well, LeBron and the Heat are taking on the Celtics, so I'd rather watch that instead. So maybe once the playoffs are out of the way and it's kind of just them for the summer, that'll help bring up that'll help bring things up a little bit. And then
I don't know if you watch the show live. Do you on Thursday? Do you check out that thing that they're doing on with the commercial free on their website, where when they go to commercial, they'll have a backstage thing for like a couple minutes?
Unfortunately, with my full-time structure, I got to I got to record it. I got to DVR it because I'm working 4 to 1 a.m. So
it's pretty cool.
I have to go back and watch all of Raw and SmackDown and Impact. I can't unfortunately watch it live unless my job structure gets changed around. It's pretty
cool. I recommend everybody doing it. I think it's fun. I like it. It's something different.
So it's a process still. I mean, they don't want to be so hasty as to pull the plug after a few weeks. I mean, it's something that's going to take some time. I mean, if they don't do that, I mean, if they didn't do that in the past, I mean, look at an example like MASH. MASH was like its first year. It was, I think, last in the ratings, and then they gave, I think, changed the time slot, moved it to another day. I think piggybacked it with All in the Family, and next thing you know, it was on for another 10 years. Mm-hmm. So it's just a matter of finding the right, finding the right niche and being patient. That's probably the big thing with TNA. Obviously, they've tweaked a lot of different formats. Now, once they get something established, because they've already made a ton of changes, but maybe they want to kind of go back in a sense, since we're right around the 10-year anniversary. Maybe they want to go back and go to a Wednesday night program, kind of like what they did with the initial pay-per-views. Only obviously put it on TNA, put TNA on Spike TV. Right.
I mean, every time I call him, when have you ever heard me try and talk good about TNA? That's how good I think it's been in the last couple of weeks live. Me, I've always talked about WWE. I try not to focus on TNA, but now that there's no spoilers, you know what I mean? I'm excited about it.
Yeah, it's fun and interesting, and something I need to get a little bit better at. I think the problem is that I don't leave myself enough turnaround time. Is I don't get as much opportunities to talk about SmackDown here on the program.
I don't even. My wife and I were talking about this last night. With the new 3-hour time slot on Raw coming up in July, they need to nix SmackDown.
You think SmackDown's going to suffer? I think SmackDown and Raw are going to both suffer considerably. I mean, look at...
everybody goes to both shows anyway. Why not just leave it on one show, Raw? I didn't even feel like watching SmackDown last night. I'm like, you know what? I was like a little bit burnt out by it. So I'm more excited about the 3-hour Raw, and that should be even training, because after sometimes 43 minutes of a 2-hour Raw, I'm done.
Yeah, and look, and a lot of it being interviews as well. I mean, how many? Well, actually, there were a few matches in the in this. Just looking at this past Raw, for example. I mean, you had 3, 4. Well, 4, technically 5, if you want to count the Cena Cole match. I guess we'll stick with calling it a match, because I'd have other terms for it, but it might get me thrown off the air.
But and
I don't know. I'll have to clear with what I can and can't say with Wild Bill Melody. He's a pro at this. But so I guess the question is, and this is something we've been kicking back and forth for a while now, is, what's the structure going to be? I mean, a lot of people are saying that there's going to be like a 1-hour pregame and it's still going to be your typical 2-hour Raw. And if that's the case, I don't know. Does it take away anything from both programs because you're adding it? Or there's so much speculation with it. I mean, I've heard a lot of rumors that it's almost going to be kind of like, I don't know, some kind of combination. Yeah, an interactive thing, almost like the old Live Wire or Action Zone, kind of some combination of the two of those. Mm-hmm. Going back to, you got to go back to like 96, 97 for that.
I would rather than do a reaction show after the 2-hour Raw, like Impact tried to do, like a post show. That would be better, because when something, quote unquote, happens at the end of the Raw, you go on WWE.com to find out about it. Well, why not just have it on or have it on WWE.com or something.
But how would that work? I mean, would that be like a call-in thing to take reaction from fans? I mean, I know they...
No, call in like they did on reaction from the wrestlers. Like
Oh, just from the wrestlers. Okay.
Yeah, like if something happens
Gotcha.
or whatever. They
kind of a follow-up to a storyline, possibly a teaser or hook for the following week.
Yep, that'd be good. I think so, anyway. I think
it could be interesting.
He's rating.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's so many directions to go with these various things. And, oh, wow, it's amazing how quickly the time's flown. Thanks so much for the call, Dan. All right, yeah.
One last thing, I'll let you go. Do not tweet Paul Heyman, get over ECW.
Wait, do not tweet Paul Heyman, get over ECW?
Yeah, because I'm kind of bummed out about his DVDs because Paul Heyman's back, and now all of a sudden they have an ECW DVD. Yeah, I retweeted it, and I'm surprised nobody caught it. But he was very upset with me.
Oh, dear.
I cannot even repeat what he told me.
Well, yes, Paul Heyman does have some rather colorful language. I'm going to have to see if I can dig that up over the break.
I was kind of shocked that he even retweeted. He tweeted me back. All I said is, Paul, get over the ECW. He'll say blankety blank. This is not my DVD. Well, technically, no, it isn't your DVD, but your voice is all over the commercial. It was really, and then he said some other colorful things. I'm like, whoa, have a good night, buddy.
Making friends left all over the place. Oh, man. All right, I'll have to see if I can find that out, or find that out during the break, and perhaps... see if I can clean it up for the other side.
Yeah, all right, man. Talk to you later.
All right, thanks so much, Dan. Greatly appreciate it. All right, we'll take care of some business, come back. I've got news and notes. I've got Slammiversary predictions. I've got a ton of Facebook feedback to go through and read as well, plus also more of your calls at 215-949-3232. And toll-free at 888-922-2149. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.